Story 1. Man, date nights. They're supposed to be those special evenings where you and your partner can reconnect, right? Well, let me tell you about the date night that changed everything for me. Sarah and I had been together for a good 3 years. We had our routines, and one of them was our monthly movie night. We'd been looking forward to watching the latest Marvel film. I mean, who wasn't? But on that particular day, she texted me, saying she had some last-minute work stuff and couldn't make it. I was bummed, but hey, work is work. Figuring I'd still catch the movie, I rang up a couple of buddies, and we decided to head to the theater. As we walked in, grabbing our popcorn and drinks, we were all just joking around, talking about the latest superhero theories. But as we were finding our seats, I spotted Sarah. She was there, a few rows ahead, and she wasn't alone. She was cozying up to some guy, laughing at something he said. I felt my stomach drop. I nudged my friend Jake, and without explaining, pointed them out. He gave me a sympathetic pat on the back. Throughout the movie, I couldn't concentrate. I kept stealing glances, seeing them share moments, and even a couple of kisses. It felt like a punch to the gut every single time. When the movie ended and people started to leave, our paths inevitably crossed. The look on Sarah's face when she saw me, I can't even describe it. Shock, guilt, panic, all rolled into one. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I just walked past her, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. Once we were out in the parking lot, I took a moment to block her on my phone. It felt like the right thing to do, at least for the time being. The ride home was quiet. My friends didn't know what to say, and honestly, neither did I. All I knew was that our regular date night had turned into a night I'd never forget, and not for the reasons I'd hoped. The next day, my phone was flooded with messages, not from Sarah directly, but from mutual friends. Apparently, she had been spinning a story about how the guy was just an old friend from college, and they had met up spontaneously. She claimed they were catching up, and it was all innocent. But those kisses I saw, they didn't look innocent to me. She finally reached out a day later, calling from a different number. I hesitated for a moment before answering. Hey, it's not what you think. He's just someone I used to know, and we ran into each other. It was just a moment of weakness. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to scream, to ask her how she could do this. Another part of me just felt tired, drained from the whole situation. Sarah, I finally said, I saw you too. It wasn't just a friendly catch-up. She sighed on the other end. I know, I messed up. But can we talk about this? Face to face. I paused, thinking, I need some time, was all I could muster before hanging up. Now, I'm here, sharing this with you all. I'm lost, confused, and hurt. I thought I knew Sarah, but now I'm questioning everything. Do I give her a chance to explain? Do I move on? How do you rebuild trust after something like this? If any of you have been through something similar or have any advice, I could really use some perspective right now. What would you do in my shoes? Trust is the bedrock of any relationship. Sarah's story reminds us how fragile it can be. But in our digital age, betrayal takes on new forms. How well do you really know your partner? Let's explore further the next story. Story 2. I've always been a tech-savvy guy. From the latest gadgets to understanding the intricacies of the digital world, it's been my thing. But never did I imagine that this very interest would unravel a secret that would shake the foundation of my relationship. Jenna and I had been together for 5 years. We met during our college days, and our relationship was the kind that our friends often termed as goals. We shared interests, laughed at the same jokes, and supported each other through thick and thin. Life was good. Or so I believed. One evening, as we were lounging on the couch, Jenna's phone pinged with a notification. She was in the kitchen, so I glanced over, thinking it might be something urgent. The preview of the message read, "Miss you. Can't wait for our next trip." It was from a contact named Samantha Work. Now, Jenna had mentioned a Samantha from her office, but they were just colleagues, or that's what I had been led to believe. My curiosity piqued, and I did something I had never done before. I opened her messages. The chat was filled with intimate conversations, plans for getaways, and even shared memories of moments they had spent together. The most recent was a picture of them at a beach resort, a place Jenna told me she had gone to for a solo weekend retreat. I felt like the ground had been pulled from under my feet. The room seemed to spin, and a wave of nausea hit me. I took screenshots, sent them to my device, and then, trying to act normal, placed her phone back. When Jenna returned, I didn't confront her immediately. I needed time to process and decide my next move. Over the next few days, I observed her closely. The late-night calls, the secretive texting, the occasional weekend work trips. It all started making sense. Finally, one evening, I sat her down and showed her the screenshots. The color drained from her face, and she was at a loss for words. After what felt like an eternity, she admitted to the affair, explaining it started as a casual friendship, but spiraled into something more. I was devastated. The woman I had planned a future with had been leading a double life. We tried counseling, but the trust was broken. It was one of the hardest decisions of my life, but we eventually parted ways. It's been a year since then. The pain has lessened, but the scars remain. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Sharing this here as a way to heal and to remind everyone that in the digital age, secrets have a way of coming out. Always value the trust someone places in you. Last update. So just when I thought there were no more surprises left, I stumbled upon another revelation. A friend of mine, who's pretty active in the online community, sent me a link. He asked, "Isn't this Jenna?" I clicked on it, and to my disbelief, it led me to an OnlyFans account. The content, Jenna and Samantha, they weren't just having an affair. They were creating content for OnlyFans. All those work trips they took were actually content creation getaways. The beach resort picture, it was one of many locations they used. I was floored. Not only had Jenna cheated, but she had also ventured into a world I had no idea about. I confronted her again, and after initial denials, she confessed. She said it started as a fun idea, a way to make some extra cash, but it grew and became a significant source of income for them. I'm still processing this. It's one thing to find out your partner cheated, but to discover they've been leading such a double life, it's a lot to take in. I'm focusing on healing and moving forward. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and this was one I never saw coming. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the intriguing world of human experiences. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.